Hey there, it's Gone Girl. A lot of people have asked me over the months about my channel being Gone Girl and why the F am I still here, basically. That's what people have said. Well, I had to wait till the stars aligned, and I mean that figuratively, not literally. And I had to give it some time to see if my personal life was going to change for the better. You know, you never want to do something in a rash decision. Well, I realized nothing has changed, um, which is soul crushing in itself. Um, Me being gone is really not going to give an impact to anybody. My daughter will look after her dad because she has always kept him in her life. It was just me that had to be gone, which, as I said, she had a right to do. Um, Being Gone Girl has never been so close to my heart than it has in these last couple months. It's not something you do on a whim. You have to think it. You gotta really embrace it. It's not something that you do because you're pissed off this minute and maybe the next minute you're not. In my case, I've seen it play out for 6.5 years, almost. Well, it's a little over 6.5 years. It'll be 7 years in August. Things aren't going to change. The people that mean the most to me in my family life have made it quite clear that those relationships aren't going to be repaired. As well as Howard's not going to stop using drugs or drinking. You know, he disappears all the time. And I made all the calls that the doctor told me to make. But for some reason, things aren't coming together as I thought they would have been. Now, remember, I know I'm not the only person on the universe. I know there are a lot of people out there that need those services more than I do. I get it. The world doesn't circle around my belly button, and I've always known that. But having said that, that dashed my last hope. Now, could that be a temporary situation? Absolutely. Do I think that they're still trying to figure it out? Absolutely. But the fact that they left me here, even after the cop said he had never seen something so bad in his career. Now, mind you, he was only about 30 something. So I don't know how old you have to be a police officer to start. But they were horrified enough that they did want to put services into play. But as I said, the world does not evolve around my belly button. There's 100 million people that need those services just as much or more than me. But I can't do it anymore. I'm so sorry. I just can't. If they could have done the one thing and made my room livable, that's all I really needed to be a lot more stable in my thinking, because I can't think in chaos. And my room is chaos to the nth degree, because everything that was moved from the other apartment got put in my room without taking things out of the box. Things were just thrown into boxes because we literally just moved across the hall. We didn't, it wasn't a major move. So, you know, my bed was put in this apartment first because I needed to be in it. So that was done first. But since September 1st, having my bed moved over to the new apartment, There still isn't any sheets on my bed since September 1st. Even the blankets I'm using haven't been washed. He said he didn't want to do laundry, so I guess that's what he didn't do. Now, in all fairness, I don't think he does his very often either. But he always thinks that I'm going to kick him out of the apartment. No, it's not that I wouldn't do that because of my daughter. But what he doesn't realize is I'm going to leave the apartment, and not in the way he thinks. You know, and I'm thankful that my daughter has a close relationship with her dad. I'm probably more thankful now than I've probably ever been because he's no longer going to be my burden. He will now become hers. Because the sad part is I live in a handicap unit, which he doesn't qualify for. So there will be a move that he'll have to make. And that's not why I'm doing it. Well, so to speak. He is the reason why my life has become unmanageable. Because he's in denial about his drug and alcohol use, even though it's been 40 years. If I hadn't had the accident and wasn't dealing with a full deck, would I have him move in with me? Hell no. Because we hadn't lived together since my daughter was 2.5 and she's 30, going on 31. And for the very same reason of what's going on now. But he got homeless. My daughter needed a place to put him. I had an extra bedroom. So that's how that came to play. And it wasn't so bad at the beginning because I had 24-hour nursing care for a couple of years. And then it lowered to 18 hours a day. So I really didn't pay attention to what was going on or not going on. And don't get me wrong, I really do care about Howard. I love him as a brother. He's just the kind of brother that you don't want to live with. Our family is very tight knit because there's only me, my daughter, her boyfriend, the grandsons, and Howard and me. That's it. That's our small little family. We're usually fiercely loyal. This time I've been fiercely loyal to my own detriment. But it's hard to say. Like I was telling the police when they were here because we had to make the call because my doctor said I had to. Or she wasn't going to stay my doctor. That's a little bit of bribery. But anyways, I had a friend make the call because I couldn't do it because again, this is a family member. So they did the call. They came. They saw how horrendous it was. And they were going to try to put supports in its place. Now, the hard part is they wanted me to throw Howard to the curb. He's 65 going on 66. I can't do that. All I needed was the supports to come in to do what I need to be done, and then everything would be livable. I know some of you people out there don't agree with the fact that I won't kick him out. Well, as much as I get mad that he's an addict and an alcoholic, I do realize it's a disease. I did get it. My dad was an alcoholic. My brother was a drug addict. But for my daughter's sake is the reason I have not made any moves for him to leave, because the situation needs to change, but the situation can be changed whether he's here or not. I can honestly say he's never hit me. I was never essayed. A little bit of emotional abuse, absolutely. What I didn't know till the police told me is neglect is part of DV. Well, I didn't know that. I just knew it didn't feel right and I hate it. But they let me know that that is a form of DV. I did not know that. I think one of my friends on YouTube tried to tell me that, but because they didn't live in my country, I wasn't sure if the rules applied in both countries. But apparently they did. But again, because of his age and he has some mental issues, it really wasn't going to go anywhere. The only repercussion I can take is removing myself. Now, if I was staying alive, I guarantee I would fight tooth and nail to stay in this apartment. It's my apartment. It's a handicap unit, which means everything is at my level. I could live independently, minus having a shower and stuff like that, which I would have home care for. I do live in my room, so that's why it lasted this long, because we coexist, but we don't see each other at all, like, except when he comes in with a coffee. That's the only reason it's worked this far. Also, because my daughter is not talking to me, because I think she feels like this is my job to look after her dad. When, in all fairness, I can't even look after myself. But I decided I'm not going to hold a grudge against my daughter over that. She has many other reasons why she's mad at me. That just probably was the tip of the iceberg that day when she called and said she was looking at the morgue and the police station and all that for Howard, who'd been missing for 5 days. And my response wasn't what she wanted. It was like, who cares? I know where he is. Where he always is. Drug alley. And I also said, well, maybe he'll die on a street corner from an overdose. That was not nice of me. I get it. And then I snapped back at her over a few things, and that's why she told me I was the worst person on the face of the earth and the worst mother I could have ever been. I was a helicopter parent, and I did protect her from her dad when he was high. He could come over any other time as long as he was high. It was up to my discretion. And he did come over every day. Because again, we are fiercely loyal. Well, we were up until my daughter threw me out of her life, but that's her choice. And she had some of valid reasons, I guess. At least in her head. And that's okay. Love for her is unconditional because she's my daughter. So no matter what she does in life, I will always love her. No matter what. Even if it's soul crushing for me, I still love her to pieces. She's my daughter. I love the grandkids, although she hasn't allowed me to get really to know Oliver, the one that's 2. But Jacob and I have the most special relationship. And I am truly grateful that Jesse had given me that opportunity. Now back to the Gone Girl. Gone Girl was based on the fact that I applied for assisted suicide. which I had found out was legal in Canada. I applied, I got accepted, and then the Supreme Court made some kind of ruling, and I got unaccepted. But then they reevaluated once my case settled, and they saw that I was catastrophic injured. Then they gave it back to me. Now, the one thing that ticks me off probably the most out of everything, my family doesn't seem to understand what's wrong with me. They don't get it. I don't think they want to understand, to be honest, because if they did, I think things would be different. You can hit your head one too many times and it scrambles everything of who you are and who you aren't. And I noticed the change. Never mind my family. I noticed that I'm totally a different person. I have agoraphobia, which leaves me in my room. I have other issues. When sirens go off, I shut down to the point that I'm not even hearing it. My thought process isn't the same. And for that, I'm actually being blamed the most for. Now, the doctors had told me this was all going to happen over time. I didn't believe them, to be honest. I don't play much stock in doctors. It's just not my thing. My mom was a trauma nurse and she worked in a doctor's office. So I kind of know how they work. But that said, they've also told me that the migraines that I'm suffering will never go away, ever. It has to do with the part of the brain that I re-damaged. The first damage to my head was I had brain surgery when I was 9 months old. So they cut my head open and had to do some work in there. Did I think this accident was going to make me worse in so many ways? No, I didn't. I literally thought everything would be fine within a year. I did. Now, they did warn me, as I said. They warned me things were going to change. But again, I did not believe them. I have what's known as a detached affect, in the sense that I don't reach the peak of really happiness or the peak of being the opposite. And that seems to come off like I don't care. But what people don't realize is I care big time. I care more than you know how much I care. I just can't express it. It's almost as if I have a dysfunction in my brain that doesn't allow for those highs that I used to have. I do have the lows to some extent. But what I don't understand is I've tried to be as loyal as possible to my family up until the accident. You needed me, I was there. I was helping whether you needed me or not. I can't help but think that now that I'm of no use to anybody, that's why cutting me out of their life is so damn easy. Because I'm no longer there to babysit, visit, do stuff with the kids. I get it. On some level, I get it. But I did not choose to get hit by that car. It's not like I stepped off the curb knowing the car was going to hit me. Not a chance in hell did I do that. My life was ruined that day. And now, 6 years later, it has broke down my family. So that leaves me with nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I'm going. Gone Girl is going. I know they'll all be fine. They've been fine this long without me. They've proven the track record of not needing me whatsoever. Which is good. Not good, but what I mean is I don't have to feel guilty about what I'm doing where I would have felt horribly guilty. But now I know they're all self-sufficient. They don't need me for anything. This is a good time. Now, it's not a good time for my friends on the internet. I get it. You guys have been wonderful support system for me. It's just you don't understand that the hurt from my family outweighs everything. Even though I wish it wouldn't, because I have some awesome friends on here. But they can't take the hurt of my daughter not wanting me in their lives away. I never thought in a billion years I would be in this position. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I saying I was the perfect mother, I was great, I was this and that. Of course I wasn't. There is no such thing as perfect parents. The one thing, though, that I don't think she realizes is my love has always been unconditional. You can hate me to the core, but I'm still going to love you. But it's time. There's a saying, shit or get off the pot. Sorry, but there is a saying that says that. So now I have to get off the pot or get on the pot or shit or do something. Not exactly sure how that plays in real life, other than the fact you got to stop talking about doing something and actually doing it. So that's where I'm at. I love you all. I hope sunshine shines no matter what weather, no matter where you are in life, no matter what you're feeling. I want you to be kind to each other, be good to each other. Please hug your kids, because I don't want you to end up like me, that in a blink of an eye, I don't have my daughter or my grandkids or her boyfriend. So that's why I say, hug your kids. This is Your Gone Girl, and she is gone.